how I got into the low carb space is a bit of an interesting one. My wife and I, 3 years ago, had our first child, Anthony. And when Jenna was pregnant, we got the blood testing done for Anthony, just to make sure that there's no issues there. And essentially, my blood test came back as having low iron. So Jenna's obstetrician sent me off to a GP to try and see what was happening and why my iron was low. I'm not vegetarian. I was eating meat, so we couldn't work out essentially what was happening. So I then got sent to a gastroenterologist, and he basically just wanted to get a procedure done straight away to make sure that there was nothing else happening, as the GP told me that, for someone at my age, I think I was 27 or 26 at the time. And, I was just I remember sitting in the doctor's room saying that the GP telling me, he goes, "Oh, pretty unusual for someone at your age, it could potentially be cancer in the stomach." So I was sitting there, just starting to panic a bit. My son was 3 months old, and I'm just thinking, well, this is interesting, bit of a turn, but yeah, I didn't believe it. So went to the gastroenterologist. He told me that, there's nothing going on underneath, which is fantastic. And then I was trying to explain to him what I do with my running. So probably didn't mention this at the start. I love to run. So I'm running around, over 100 Ks a week normally. And I was trying to explain this to the gastroenterologist, and he didn't want to hear it. And he basically telling me that you don't lose iron, through running. It's only through blood loss somewhere in the body. And I was trying to explain to him about foot strike hemolysis, and trying to show him that there's plenty of studies that have shown that elite endurance runners do lose iron through training. So I wasn't satisfied with this gastroenterologist, so I went to go see a sports doctor by the name of Adam Castricum at Melbourne Park Sports Olympic Centre. It was the best appointment I've ever had, pretty much. I went to go see him, and straight away he just said to me, he goes, "There's nothing wrong with you. This is completely normal." So he's one of the doctors for the Australian Olympic team in the athletics, and straight away he just reassured me there was absolutely nothing wrong. And he asked me an interesting question. He said to me, "How many times are you eating red meat?" And I said, "Oh, maybe only once or twice. I prefer to stick to chicken, fish." And he goes, "Why?" And I just said, "Well, isn't red meat bad for you?" And he just gave me a book called A Fat Lot of Good from Dr. Peter Bruckner. And he goes, "Go ahead, read that, and then come back and see me." So when I was reading this book, I was just so shocked to what I was reading, and then started doing a lot more research from there. And I was just thinking, oh my God, all this stuff I've learned at uni is, incorrect.
Yeah.
And then the more I just kept digging in, I'm going, I can't believe, what I was learning. So then I got in contact with Dr. Peter Bruckner, and just from there we made a connection, and started doing some work with him as well with Sugar by Half.